He was already there.
He never left.
You don't dismiss a murder confession, you just receive it differently.
What if everyone at that station already knows what he did, and they're glad about it?
Hey, welcome to Bone Broth. First case. I picked this one because it does a thing I really like, and I'm not going to tell you what the thing is. The last visitor. London, evening. Dr. Allen, a psychologist, has just seen off the last visitor of his day. He sinks back into his chair, exhausted. He lifts his coffee, takes a sip, and then a smile spreads slowly across his face. He picks up the phone on his desk and dials. Hello? Is this the police? I need to turn myself in. I've just murdered someone. By midnight, no one had come to arrest him. 3 things before you start. Same 3 every time. Any supernatural stuff in this story? No. Does anyone die? No. Is Alan a real, living human being? Yeah. Okay. You ask me yes or no questions. That's the whole game. Warm up first. 2 each. Free. Nothing counted. Then it's real. 15 questions between the 3 of you. And when the counter says 0, that's it. What happened? 2 each. Find your feet.
Okay, baseline first. Is Alan actually licensed? A real practicing psychologist? Actual credentials?
Yeah.
And the person he says he murdered, were they physically in the room with him when he made the call?
Nope.
Interesting. So whatever happened was already over.
Okay, I need to get this out of my system or it'll bother me all episode. The coffee. Is the coffee anything?
Oh my god.
It's right there in the story. He drinks the coffee and then he smiles. That's sequencing.
Nah, coffee's just coffee.
Fine. The coffee is a decoy and I respect it. Real one. Was anyone else in the building who knew what Alan was doing?
Yeah.
See, that's interesting.
The smile. Does it actually matter? Is it part of the answer, or is it just color?
It matters, yeah.
Then second one. Did Alan know the person he murdered before today?
Yeah.
So it's personal. Or it's professional.
Warm-up's done. 15. Go.
Okay. Before we spend anything, the vibe on this is off, and I can locate exactly where. On paper, it's a confession story. Guy calls the cops, says he did it, but he's exhausted. And then he smiles? Those don't go together. The smile happens before the call. The call is the result of the smile.
That's not nothing.
Thank you.
I'm not agreeing with your conclusion. I'm agreeing with the observation. Practical problem first. Police didn't come. 3 possibilities. The call never connected. The call was dismissed as a prank. Or the police received it, understood it, and chose to do nothing. Which is a completely different story. We eliminate in order.
Yeah, bottom of the ladder first.
Ask it.
Did the call actually connect? Did a real person answer?
Yeah.
He did the eyebrow thing.
I don't have an eyebrow thing.
He knows he has an eyebrow thing.
The call connected. Someone picked up, heard a murder confession, and nothing happened. That's the actual headline here.
Right, so dismissed or deliberately ignored. One is passive, one is a choice. We need to know which because everything downstream depends on it.
Agreed. That's worth a question.
Did whoever answered treat it as a genuine murder confession?
No, you don't dismiss a murder confession, you just receive it differently, depending on who's calling.
Wait, they understood it and they didn't act. That's not lazy. That's a decision.
Police received it, understood it, decided not to come. Whoever answered knew something about Alan, specifically about Alan.
Then that's the next domino. Do they know him? Yes?
Yes.
Did the people who answered already know who Alan was before he called?
Yeah.
Known to police. Could be professional. Could be personal. Somebody recognized the name and extended a courtesy.
The smile kills the courtesy theory. A man getting a favor from a friend doesn't smile like that. That smile is earned. He did something today.
Wait. What if everyone at that station already knows what he did, and they're glad about it? Like, what if the police didn't come because the murder isn't a crime to them? What if it's the opposite of a crime?
If that's where this is going, we need the word itself. Murdered. A psychologist picked that word on purpose. Words are his whole job.
So we ask if it's literal.
We ask if it's a metaphor. Same question, better odds.
Was murdered a metaphor? Alan didn't mean it literally?
Yeah.
Good. Literal homicide, off the board. What remains is deliberate, targeted, psychological. Done by a licensed professional, to someone he already knew. So what does a psychologist metaphorically kill?
Okay, but hear me out. Someone's entire sense of self, their will. What if he spent the whole day taking a person apart, and it worked so completely that murder was the only honest word left?
Real talk. You don't smile after breaking someone you care about, even when breaking them was the right thing to do. The smile means Alan owed this person nothing.
But a psychologist's whole job is caring about.
Not every client of a psychologist is a patient.
That's literally the same sentence with the words moved around.
All right. You're circling the same door. Open it. Who sits across from a psychologist and isn't his patient?
Someone who didn't come for help.
Was the last visitor a standard therapy patient? Someone who came to Alan for help?
No. Patient implies someone who wanted to be there. Think about the alternative.
Okay, everything I built just assumed a therapeutic context. That's gone now. Starting over.
Is this where one of the 12 frameworks comes in, or?
There for reference.
They're for reference.
Alan's a psychologist. The visitor came to him. Not voluntarily, not for help. What does a psychologist do when it isn't therapy? Assessment, evaluation, interrogation support.
Which is what I said. The police are glad. The visitor was never Alan's problem. The visitor was their problem. And they handed him to Alan.
That changes the frame. Is Alan a police officer? Directly employed by law enforcement?
No. Interesting direction, though. But no.
Okay, not a cop. But the direction is right. He works with them. I can feel it.
Outside specialist, contracted, not employed, brought in. That's consistent with everything on the board.
Follow that one step further. You don't bring in an outside specialist for a normal person. Specialists are for when everything else failed. Whoever was in that chair, they were a problem nobody at that station could solve.
Dangerous. Like actually dangerous. Ask if... No wait, is that a question or am I guessing?
That's a guess, but it's also the right question.
I'm putting that on a shirt.
Was this person dangerous? A genuine threat?
Yeah, quite.
Quite. Why is quite so much scarier than a plain yes?
Hold on, let me reframe this. When a person refuses to talk, really refuses, professionally refuses, it's because talking costs them something they will not give up. So, was the visitor protecting something? Holding something back?
That's the cleanest question anyone's asked all day. Take it.
Was this person withholding something? Refusing to cooperate? And Alan was brought in specifically to change that?
Yeah, you're closer than you think.
Imagine that. However many hours. Sitting across from a person who has decided they will never say a word. And then it's over. The visitor walks out of that door, and Alan just sits back down. And whatever was left in him, the only place it could go was that phone.
He wasn't asking to be arrested. He was telling someone, it's done.
No, hang on. We've been assuming the geography this whole time. His office. The story says he saw off his last visitor. It never says where. If Alan was brought in for an assignment, where was the chair?
Wait, is he even in his own office?
Was Alan in his own private practice when he made the call?
No, he was exactly where he needed to be.
He was already there.
He never left.
He didn't call the police. He called the people in the next room.
Was Alan inside a police station when he made the call?
Yeah, 5 left.
Don't say it like that.
Then the phone is internal. Has to be. He's inside the building, calling up, not out. Was it an internal line, not a public emergency number?
Yeah.
And the people who picked up, they'd been there all day, hadn't they? Watching. Did the people on the other end already know what had happened before he even called?
Yeah.
He calls the people who watched him do it, who were behind that door the whole time. And he says, I need to turn myself in. I've just murdered someone. And they got it instantly. Because murder was the only word big enough for what he did to the inside of another person's head. He wasn't confessing. He was exhaling.
One thing missing. Stakes. Specialists get called when there's a clock. Was something genuinely urgent at stake? A life depending on what this person wouldn't say?
Yeah, there was. Possibly more than one.
Before we spend the last two, I want to say the whole thing out loud. If it survives being said, we ask. If it doesn't, we still have two. Alan is a criminal psychologist, not a therapist, a consultant. The person police call when they've run out of everything else. They had someone in custody, someone genuinely dangerous who had shut down completely. Not one word, not one name, while something real was at stake. So they put Alan in the room. And Alan spent the day doing the thing only he can do, taking apart whatever held that man together, piece by piece, until it came down, until he talked. And when they led the man out, Alan stayed in his chair, picked up the internal line to the people upstairs, the ones who'd been watching all day, and said, "I need to turn myself in. I've just murdered someone." Not a confession, a report, in the only language that fit what he'd just done.
That's it. That's all of it.
One structural confirmation. Was Alan specifically contracted, brought in, by law enforcement for this case?
Yeah, there you go.
One left. Hux, it's yours.
The person Alan broke, did what they finally said actually help? Did it save someone?
That's outside the puzzle. But Alan smiled. Think about what that tells you.
I think we're done.
You went the long way, and I mean that as a compliment. You knocked down every wrong door before you found the real one. The call that didn't connect. No. The confession nobody believed. No. The therapy patient. No. The cop who was never a cop. No. And then CIPHER asked the only question nobody thinks to ask. Where's the chair? After that, you weren't solving it anymore. You were just confirming it. 94%. Nearly perfect. The truth will confirm what you already sense. Okay, here's what actually happened. Alan didn't go to the police. The police came to him. They always do, eventually, when everything else runs out. For 6 weeks, London's most careful serial killer hadn't said a word. Not a name, not a location, nothing. Someone was still missing, possibly still alive. The detectives had tried everything they had. And then they called Alan. The room was small, 2 chairs. Alan sat down across from a man who believed his own mind was a fortress. It wasn't. And there was no big moment, no fist on the table, no shouting. These things don't collapse all at once. They fall the way things actually fall. Quietly, in one place, and then everywhere at once. The man who'd said nothing for 6 weeks said everything. Where? Who? Things nobody had thought to ask. Because once a person starts, they often can't stop. When they let him out, Alan stayed in his chair. He looked at the phone, the internal line to the command room upstairs, where his colleagues had been watching all day. And he called them. "Hello? Is this the police? I need to turn myself in. I've just murdered someone." The laughter on the other end went on for a while. It sounded like relief. It was. Okay, that's what actually happened.
Yeah, okay. I had the pieces. I just built them wrong.
Okay, I called it. The specific details were wrong, but the vibe was completely right.
Man, that's rough.
Okay, but one thing that's not a question. The coffee.
Coffee's just coffee, Nova.
He hesitated. Did everyone hear that?